the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival, and this is actually our second day here. We weren't able to film anything or really share any pictures or anything from yesterday because it was such a whirlwind. As many of you know, our flight was delayed 17 hours and we got here just in time for me to do my presentation yesterday. Then we had meet and greet and it was super busy in here, so they let us come in early this morning before anybody arrived to do a little tour. So I'm super excited just to take you guys around and show you some of the highlights. Starting with the gorgeous display from Fleur de Ville. I think that's how you say it, but oh my word, you guys, all of these mannequins dressed completely in flower material. Each one of them is incredibly unique and each one of them has kind of its own theme. Look at this one right here. Red and pink roses, boxwood, and I see that they have this one wrapped up, probably just to keep it protected throughout the night. This was actually my favorite, so I'll try to come back through and get a good shot. But you can see just by looking, there are, I mean, that's my color, you guys, that corally peachy color, a bunch of baby's breath. Look how delicate right up in here. All of that delicate work. The amaryllis, the roses. Oh, I just love this one. This one here looks extremely elegant. Creams and light blush pink. Look at the, is that money plant that the dress is made out of? Excuse the light behind it. There we go. Oh, this would be so fun. They were actually doing live demonstrations right here yesterday of how, like some of the methods that they use to create these, and I didn't have time to stand and watch the whole thing, but I got to watch about 5 minutes of it and it was really fascinating. Oh, and each one of them has a name. I didn't even realize that. There were so many people here yesterday. Garden Party Floral Design Mannequin. I really like this one as well. The yellow and the smoky mauve browns. I'm gonna also take you around in here to look at all of the display gardens. This is the first one I want to start with. It's my favorite. It's from Christensen's Nursery. So they do keep it fairly dim and cool in this whole room so that all the flowers kind of hold. This is the last day of the show, so these plants have been inside for quite a number of days, and like on these displays here, I know that they come through with buckets of flowers and kind of refresh if anything needs it throughout the day, which you would have to on a fresh floral display like that, I would think. But all of the gardens in here, the installation gardens, still look amazing. Isn't this just stunning? So John and Toni Christensen, who own Christensen's Nursery out of Mount Vernon, Washington, they're brilliant creative people and they've got a wonderful team. You can tell by the way this looks. Mirrored after Hilltop Farm, Beatrix Potter's home, which Aaron and I have been able to visit in real life, which was really fun to see, you know, their interpretation of it. And there's so much detail here. Look at the fence, first of all. Look at the detail there. There's vines twisted around it. They have lichens and moss growing on them. So it looks like it's like really been here. Chickens. Hey chickens, I heard one of you crowing earlier. It's been a busy couple days for you. But you can see the English daisies popping up through the grass right there. There's some beautiful white rhododendrons, espalier, looks like pear trees right there in bloom. Birch trees, kind of creating our vertical drama. I love that. It's a white wisteria. I need white wisteria in my life. Let's take a look. There's a compost bin right there. Okay, so it looks like they've won, let's see, a couple awards. I can't read from here though. I'll see if I can find more information. Okay, they won the People's Choice Award and the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival Gold Medal. The stacked stone wall I specifically remember with the geraniums. I actually have a picture. I'll see if I can find it. There's a picture of potted geraniums with a watering can on one of the walls that I took when we were there. So that is just a really sweet memory, but you can see pots of herbs right here. There's parsley and chamomile and apple mint growing below with thyme. Look at the violas around the stones. I mean, there's so much detail. I could not get close to this yesterday, so this is really fun. Little pots, Swiss chard, lettuce. Oh, so much charm. And not only the interior of the display, but also right along the edge. These beautiful kind of wild flowery borders. And we're all craving that right now. The theme of this year's show, which I should have said in the beginning, is spring fever, which we all have, so seeing all of these plants just feeds us for a little while until we can have it in our own yards. Right across the way from Hilltop Farm, I was struck by this drift of hellebores right here. I'll try to find the placard to see who did this display, but these are all pink frost hellebores and there's a ton of them. Look at how beautiful that is, with the blooming trees up above and the evergreen accents. And swinging around the front of that display, look at this. Little pond with a mist maker in there. There's pitcher plants, some other pond plants I'm not familiar with, more hellebores, and then a beautiful flagstone path that goes underneath an arbor up to a seating area in there. Of course, it's just for looking. I can't climb up in there, dang it. So this one was done by the Washington Park Arboretum, Gateway to a Greener Earth. They did a beautiful job. And then this way we have Little Prince Plants of Oregon Nursery, which you guys are probably familiar. Those of you who've watched our videos, we've done a couple unboxings of their plants. In fact, they did send us some of these gold nugget, oh, I'm creating shadows. Hello. Gold nugget chick charms. Beautiful color. But this is just a beautiful display, and they were explaining yesterday like crevice gardening and how it's so easy to utilize this idea in any kind of scale, because you know, oftentimes we find ourselves with little areas where we could tuck in little plants like this. So there's some beautiful options, a bunch of sedums and English daisies, veronica right here, a bunch of sempervivums, some more sedge in here, and look at these sedums here, Ogon sedum, always loved that one. They did a beautiful job with color and texture there. And then this sculpture is neat. So that piece is down here, planted up. And this cotoneaster is really interesting. It's called an emerald sprite. And it stays a little bit smaller than your traditional cotoneasters, a really tight ground cover with beautiful red berries. Beautiful daffodils and cyclamen in here. Look at this. Oh, this I would like to repeat in my own garden, along with that. We've got the bold texture, the beautiful color in here, and all that variation. This is beautiful. That I don't have either. That's what it is. And then check this out. Look at that rock fountain. Those are always so nice because they don't splatter very often and they just make such a pleasing sound. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna move on to this one here because I think this one's called Underspring Blossoms. These trees are massive. Look at this. Oh, beneath the blossoms, that's much more eloquently put. Here we go. By Pacific Landscaping. This just for sheer drama and the size of these trees. I mean, I don't even know what this would be like to move this kind of tree in. In fact, I think it would be super interesting to be here on setup, like during the setup time, because this whole floor, this always amazes me about flower shows, the whole floor is just a big empty room, and all of these stones and pavers and water features, I mean, they're all built on bare ground in a matter of days. So to see that all come together and the amount of organization that it would take, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know how that would even go down. So I think that this one was created by Nature Perfect, the art of landscaping, I think. That's what I'm seeing around this display, but there's no big placard, but it is gorgeous. Look at that. Well, and I particularly like, are those Leyland cypress? That's kind of what they look like in their form, but that kind of brighter yellow back there with all the purple hyacinths, plus, like, you could never go wrong with that, with that kind of scenery. This is really pleasing to me. It looks very tidy and kind of organized, all while still having a very natural look, if that makes sense. And then here we have Hartley Botanic, which you might remember we did like a specific video tour through one of their Victorian style greenhouses last year. And this is one of their more modern designs, which has a very unique look to it as well. You guys know I want a Victorian, the Grand Lodge, really bad. But it's really interesting to see all of the different styles that are available, because I know there's a lot of people, especially in the Pacific Northwest, that go with the clean lines and this sort of look. Really pretty. The plants are gorgeous too. White daffs, yellow dogwood, there's some barberry, and then coral bark maples. Never go wrong with those, especially with this. They've got some interesting lighting on it. Okay, we're gonna pop in here. Some stone floors. Oh, can you just imagine puttering in a greenhouse like this when it's not very nice outside? Oh, dream. Oh, you guys. Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to walk in here. I'm going to though, because I gotta get close to this. Oh, I want that. I want 2 of those at the entrance to our property. Who makes this? It's probably some antique that would cost a fortune. That is gorgeous. Yeah, I think we're okay to walk up here. There's signs and stuff of what these plants are, so I imagine people were up here. How interesting. I really like this one too. It has a completely different vibe than all the others that we've looked at. This one was done by the Puget Sound Conservation District's ORCA Recovery Garden. Of course, it looks cool with the vintage camper, and we've got some canoes that are planted up. And I love the stacks of stones. That's got a name, right? It's really interesting. Also, like, I'm just looking at infrastructure stuff. So the detail that holds this garden in, I mean, just imagine what it took just to move this one log. I mean, that's huge. Oh, this is cool. If you keep going this way, there's some compost bins. I like the style of those. Erin and I have been researching different styles. I really like that. Stained black. So there's a few more display gardens, like installation gardens, I'll show you, but I just kind of want to like explain the layout here. So there's this big square area that has all of these display gardens, and then there's a huge space this way, like all the way back to that wall, and then all the way up to the front that are different sorts of vendors, art, greenhouses, plants. There's tons of plant booths this year. In fact, I'm hoping that I have a little bit of time to run through some of those booths, because I did check a bag. We're only here for one night, and I checked a bag so that I could go shopping a little bit. But then, when I turn the camera around, just beyond the display gardens, there's another huge section with more vendors of different sorts. And then if you make a right, which we'll do here in a second, it just goes on and on. This is another really interesting one. I liked the modern feel of this. Morning. Even though you guys know modern is not really my thing, I really appreciate the style. I really love to see how it's incorporated. I mean, look at the sculpture here. And that's one of the reasons why I loved working at the garden center so much, was because we got to do all kinds of different displays of different styles. So you weren't always just doing the same, your same kind of, like, you kind of get into a comfort zone and maybe even into a rut sometimes of doing the same things, and it kind of just kept us fresh, and it allowed us to experience different styles without committing, you know, our whole garden to it or our home to it. But I just think this is so beautiful with these lollipop trees, the planter full of hellebores and yellow twig dogwood. And you can see too in the style of planting is it's very modern as well. You know, the rows like that, the repetitive nature of things. And there's a lot of rest for your eye in this type of style, I think. And Benjamin would love this one, called Come Out and Play by Fancy Plants Gardens. And lots of beautiful colored glass, child's play area. I'm sure that it would be really hard, if Benjamin was here, it'd be hard to keep him. Oh, it would be hard to keep him out of that. Hold on. Oh, you know he would be all over that. Trucks and tractors, that is his jam right there. Like, he might play on that a little bit. This is where you'd find him. You can tell this garden was designed with kids in mind. So cute. And then this one, the Where the Wild Things Grow by PLANTSWOMAN Design, is another one that looks a little bit more kid-centric. You can tell right there. We've got some heavy equipment going into the pond, and some handprints on pavers. The tent, oh, I love this with the gnome, and some artwork up in there. Oh, this is neat. That's got beautiful sound. Touches like this I really appreciate, because it'd be very easy to overlook, you know, tucking a bird's nest into one of the shrubs in here. But those kind of details are what these people that design these displays, they just think of everything, and they make it such an experience for all of us that get to come see it. Look at all the orchids. So those were the installation highlights for me. So now I want to take you through kind of the back area and give you an idea of what it looks like back there. That's where I'm giving you my presentation, and there's tons of booths full of plants that I think you guys will love. Just real quick, I just noticed something I missed in this display, and that's this little pathway. Is that not the most charming thing ever? Look at the old tools, kind of creating the no entry gate there. But look at that, doesn't it make you just want to walk down it? In addition to the chickens, they also released 6,000 ladybugs in their display, which I don't know how many of them are still there, but I imagine, especially that first day, it was just like magical. Okay, so like I said, in this area here, there are more vendors, and you can kind of get a flavor here with the first one. You can see all of the plants and the pots and things like that, and the art. Really interesting stuff. The Bouchard Gardens right here. Aaron and I honeymooned in Victoria, Canada, and we went to the Bouchard Gardens. And then as we turned this way, this is where a lot of people were like kind of gathering and regrouping. And then there are some small installations in these spaces here on either side. So on this side and over there. And then we enter this huge kind of back section. It's enormous, you guys, all the way to the end over there and all the way to that side. And if we go straight back, this is where I do my presentation. We can see a lot of gorgeous displays along the way. I have been to shows where there aren't quite as many plants to purchase, and this show does not disappoint. There are so many nurseries set up. I was looking at these evergreens earlier and wondering if I would get strange looks if I had one on my lap in the airplane. Ooh, I like this. Apple Blossom Clematis. That's interesting. Probably a zone, yeah, 7 through 9. Dang it. This is where I bought a bunch of stuff last year, N&M Nursery. They had a bunch of begonias and heucheras. Looks like Nicotiana. Ooh, this is a beauty. It's a Yucca Bright Star. It's really pretty. Flowering maple. Saw a bunch of people heading out of the door with these yesterday. Isn't that gorgeous? And tons of herbs, which I'm a total sucker for. I don't know what it is about 4-inch herbs. I just want them all. Okay, and right here we've got the Espoma booth with a couple pictures of my face, which is always kind of strange to see still. Got some really pretty plants though in here. I think Little Prince planted these up. I saw a booth that had lemon cypress lollipop topiaries, and I've got to sniff them out because I want one. And here's Gardener's Supply. They always have like a really fun bright booth. Oh, I wonder if they sell this. And then right around the corner is the Proven Winners booth. Let me back up here. So this right here is where I stood yesterday, and there was a line of people for the meet and greet. And there are some really pretty plants. They have been in here for a week now. So they are looking a little bit like I want to get out of here. But there are some beautiful caladiums here. This is the Bottle Rocket, Heart to Heart. Raspberry Moon. This is my fave, White Wonder. I love that. It looks very clean. And then these were looking really good too. There's the Diamond Snow. We just did a video about this plant a couple days ago. And the Wicked Witch Coleus. Beautiful. Look at this. This is a huge booth. Ooh, I like that obelisk. That's neat. Oh, can you imagine this one like planted up with some beautiful stuff? Or just potted plants, like potted geraniums would be beautiful in there. So this is the coolest arbor. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the detail because there's a lot of stuff around it. But it's like open. It's a circle that goes up. And then there's like a little planter over the little planter, and then it goes back down. It's really difficult to see, but it's beautiful. And if we keep going all the way down here, I'll show you where I gave my presentation yesterday, and I have one at 10 a.m. today. So I stand up here at this podium, and it was full yesterday. I don't expect there'll be quite as big of a crowd today. So there it is. I stand right behind that podium, and there are the screens that my slides go on. We'll head up here real quick. And this is what it looks like from my perspective. Yesterday, you guys, it was full. Every single table was full, every chair was full, and there were people standing in the back. I totally did not expect it. I was absolutely overwhelmed. And this is where I wait. I'll give you guys kind of a backstage look here. It's very glamorous. right back in the corner over there. So Aaron is going around right now with his camera getting some video of some of these beautiful installations and displays we've seen, and I hope you enjoyed this little tour, kind of a peek at what the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival is like. It really is an experience and completely worth coming. So if you are ever, like this time of year next year, if you are somewhere in the area or, you know, want to make the trip up, it's absolutely worth it. It's beautiful. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.